Eric Larson, Jim Valentino, Mark Silvestri, Jim Lee, Will Portacio, Rob Liefeld, they're all leaving. They're all leaving, and they're going and they're doing their own books, and they formed this company called Image Comics. And I'm like, oh my God. And he's like, you wanna start a pull folder? I'm like, well, what the hell is a pull folder? Like, what are we talking about here? And he's like, well, when any of the Image comics come out, you just tell us if you want them, and we'll hold them for you, and we'll put them in this box. Every time you come in, like, they're there. And I'm like, what is this magical place? Like, oh my God.
It will hold your comics for you.
It's life-changing. And so for, the longest time, I had a pull box at this comic store that just said Robert Kirkman, all Image titles.
I met him as a fan. I met him when he was a kid. He drove me to the airport in Chicago. After a show, he just wanted to pick my brain.
I was like, oh, where are you going to the airport? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, you got a cab? And he's like, no, I don't have one. I think I'm just going to find a cab somewhere and I'll go. And I had driven there from Kentucky, so I had a car. And so I go, well, I can drive you to the airport if you want. And he's like, oh, that'd be great. And I'm like, all right, I'll get my car. I'll meet you out right over here. He's like, okay, cool. Pick him up. I don't know how to get to the airport. And this is pre-GPS. This is pre-iPhone. It's not like I can just do this. I know that there are planes flying in that direction. And I know that the Rosemont Convention Center is right next to a freeway. And so I'm like, I'll just get on that and go in the direction of the planes, and I'm sure I'll get there. And we got lost. He almost missed his flight.
Larson gave Kirkman and artist Cory Walker a shot with the Super Patriot miniseries in 2002. Then came his idea for a different type of superhero comic.
Really kind of stopped doing some superheroes for a while. I mean, the only ones left were Savage Dragon and Spawn, and Powers had been around, and Invincible was actually part of a new initiative to do more superhero books.
Robert Kirkman was very young, and he kept trying and trying and trying, and God bless.
Okay, so we live now. All right. Very good. Let's get the show going. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Shaquem Wynn of the Dunkin Skids Animation Podcast. I'm the Soulful Animator, and you're at the Soulful Podcast. Okay, we're about to get started. Initiating TV Paint. I'm Shaquem Wynn. I'm a filmmaker. I'm doing my first film, Dunkin Skids. I'm using TV Paint to do the animation. It's an animated short. Also do live action films as well. What he's trying to do. All right. So here we go. So that's a piece of the animation that's coming out so far. So that's how that's looking. So now I'm going to open up this file here. Open up another file. I'm going to go into the animation that I've been working on. Okay, this is where we at so far. All right. This is Dunkin Skids. This is my main character. This is what we got going on right here. All right. So now we are. Okay, so what happens is when you use TV Paint, a lot of times you have to go in and magnify so that you can see what you're doing. Otherwise, you'll lose everything if you try to animate without those boxes. These little boxes here, right? You see these? You see these little square boxes? If you don't put that out and you try to animate, it'll erase everything. That's happened to me a couple of times. It took me a few times to get this program right. Okay, so where are we right now? So this fool is still running, man. Like I said, I'm into animation because animation is the ultimate art form. You can do anything in it. And plus it's really a one-man band. It might take forever, but it's really a one-man or woman show, you know. Although I'm not doing everything alone. My wife is helping me. She may not help in terms of the animation, but she helps with the inks and, you know, inking it and stuff like that. So that's where we are right now. Hold on. Yep, that looks good. Looks damn good. All right. So bring this down here. Very good. All right. Bring that out like that. So the goal of this, the goal of this is to my own brand. So what I'm doing is I'm making a series of films, both live action and animation, to do my own thing, because I believe this is the time. If you're a filmmaker and stuff like this is the time for you to get into it, because the technology is available now. There's really no excuse. If you want to do something, you can do it. You know, you can make a film on an iPhone, you know. And I don't know if you guys know about this new animated show called Invincible. I'm really looking forward to that. It's based on the webcomic by Robert Kirkman, but I'm really looking forward to that show. I think it airs on Friday on Amazon Prime. So if you have Amazon Prime, check that out. Or even if you don't have it, you can subscribe to it, get a 30-day subscription, 30-day free subscription, and then watch some of the episodes. You know, get on that bandwagon now, because I don't know how long that's gonna last. You know, streaming is still the wild, wild west, but it's changing it's changing every day. Every day there's something new. Okay, hold on a second. Let me fix that tail. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Yeah. But if you do decide to make a film, there's a bunch of film festivals that you can submit it into. Particularly if you're into animation, I do both, because I really want to market myself. So I had to be try to get at both, so that people can understand what it is that I do. You know, I'm trying to be a renaissance man in film. So you can do animation, and then you can submit it to film festivals like the Annies, Academy Awards, stuff like that. You know, it's just good to try everything, man. In animation, you don't have to draw a whole bunch of muscle-bound figures, even though I know how to do that stuff. You don't have to draw muscle-bound figures. You can do a whole lot of things. Animation, I know a guy who made a film using stick figures, if you can believe that. So you can really do a whole lot of stuff with it. Let's see. There we go. Check that out. That looks sweet. looks really sweet, man. What are we doing so far? All right. So here we go. So, okay, so I just finished this frame. Now I'm on to the next frame. So as you can see, I'm stretching it out. I animate this bad boy at 24 frames a second. Okay, so I move it up to 24 frames and then I go in. Okay, there I go. Now I'm gonna start it again. Here we go. So now basically there you go. It's gonna come down again. I gotta make that nose big. I don't like the way that nose look. I gotta make it bigger. Make that bigger. There you go. Like I said, you can zoom in, you can do a whole bunch of stuff. Now, what I'm digging about this is the animation revolution, which there really is one now. There really is an animation revolution. You got a whole bunch of independent filmmakers who wouldn't have had a chance before because the technology's changed. People like myself. There's no way. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. You know, my moms didn't have a lot of money and stuff like that. So I didn't get into this until I was like 40 years old. I had always loved animation, but I could never afford. There's no way you could afford the software. Cameras, and plus the cameras were huge. You know, you would have had to buy a Super 8 camera, you know, stuff like that back in the day. And I didn't know about that stuff, man. I didn't know about that stuff until the internet. Into the internet, like things like YouTube and all that stuff came around. I always drew though. I always drew, but I don't know. You know, there was no way you could really do animation on your own back then. Not like you can do it now. Now you can do whatever you want. Okay, hold on a second. Yep. So I'm gonna bring that down because he's opening his mouth. Open your damn mouth, Duncan. Okay. And then open his mouth. There you go. Perfect, man. Perfect. So. There we go. Sweet. He's opening his eyes here, so I gotta stretch that out. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Perfect. Like I said, you want to do something, nobody can stop you but you. That's how I personally feel about it. You want to make a film, you go out there and make one, man. You got nothing stopping you now. You can do everything yourself. So I'm gonna push that up. How many of you were waiting for Godzilla to come out? Godzilla versus Kong. Boy, let me tell you, I've been a kaiju fan since I was a kid. I can't wait for that movie to come out. It looks dope too. It looks really good. So, cannot wait for that. You know, a lot of people didn't like the original Godzilla. The Godzilla, I think it came out in, what was it, 2013, 2012, 2013. But I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was a damn good movie. It just, you know, it bothered me a little bit that they didn't really show the monster, but you know, they didn't have that real budget for it like they do now. They was trying to save money. They didn't know if people was gonna still be into Godzilla. Fortunately, even though the film didn't make a whole lot of money, fortunately, it made enough for them to warrant sequels. You know, and I'm glad that it did, because I think this Kong versus Godzilla thing looks great. I even like Godzilla King of the Monsters. I thought it was well made. The human drama of it I didn't really care about so much. I thought that was kind of foolish, but everything else worked. The action, Monster Zero, Godzilla himself, all that stuff worked to me. Let me see, I'm gonna push it up. I'm gonna bring his hair up a bit. I always want Dunkin Skids' hair to be constantly moving. Always want his hair to be moving. Because right now in this scene, he's bugging out. He's bugging out off the heroin, because he's just started doing heroin again, and he's bugging out off of it, and he's seeing, and the victims of his drugs. He's hallucinated the victims of his drugs and stuff come because, you know, he's trying to go straight because he feels the guilt of the stuff that he did. So the victims of the drugs that he sold, they're coming back to haunt him. So as a result, he's bugging out and he's running out in the street like a crazy person. So that's the scene that I'm animating right now. Get in there, Duncan. Get in there, bro. Coming along. Let's see, then we gotta fix it. Gotta bring the neck down a little bit. Bring the neck down. Yo, this is my first podcast I'm doing. I hope you guys like it. I hope you stick around because I intend to make more. Let's see around. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yep. Okay, I gotta bring that down a little bit. Right now I'm using a pencil tool because what I'll do is I'll draw everything. I'll draw everything out in pencil, and then my wife goes in and outlines it with pen. And I'm using various techniques. I'm gonna use acrylics to color it. You know, TV Paint is my go-to. This is my favorite kind of program to animate on because with this, it's really like drawing on paper. I use a Cintiq, a Wacom Cintiq as my monitor board. And that's great just for drawing. It really comes out like a pencil. So, like you're drawing on paper in pencil. So he's gonna bring that down. Yeah, he's gonna bring that down. I really need you to bring it down, bruh. So that looks good. Yeah, that arm is too short, so. There you go. Need to stretch that arm out. It wasn't looking too good. Fix the tail. You know, some people like minimalism when it comes to animation. I don't. I like to see things moving. I love the golden age of animation. Everything moved, particularly in the 30s and stuff. That's why I love the video game Cuphead, because Cuphead uses that style of the golden age of animation where everything was constantly moving. You know, even when the characters were standing still, they looked like they were moving. they look like, yeah, you know, they look they looked like they was troubled, man, because when they stood still, they were shaking. Like they had too much caffeine or something. It was hilarious. Just look at those old cartoons and stuff from the 1930s and stuff like that. It's funny. Even though the old Warner Brothers and Disney stuff. They look like they got the shakes from from too much caffeine. All right, get in there. Get in there. Bring that up. Bring that up. There we go. Yeah, that looks a bit too small. So what I'm gonna do is I gotta bring the tail up. It's looking way too small because the character's constantly coming in and out of. The camera's constantly closing up on him and then panning away from him. So I gotta use this. I gotta erase that tail. And when you want to erase something, you just use the back of your pen. It works like an eraser. Yo, I'm telling you, man, I'm digging the digital age. Yo, you young people today, man, y'all don't know how good y'all got it. This was a dream for me back in the day to be able to do something like this. So, like I said, if you got that technology, take advantage of it. All right. Here we go. See what this thing's got to be bigger than that. It's got to be bigger. So I'm gonna pan away. Perfect. There you go. Perfect. Now we're getting somewhere. I like to do roughs when I do the animation because I'm gonna fix it when we go in to the pen and stuff. So I like to do roughs. Let's see. That tail's looking pretty good. Basically what you want to also do, you want to save your work. So let me save it. In case something happens or anything like that, you're stepping away or anything like that, you want to make sure that you're saving your work. So, because animation is a tedious process, man. And the last thing you want to do is really go in there, do all this work, and then suddenly it's erased. That's happened to me quite a few times, and I hated it. I wanted to break the computer, you know. Perfect. Okay. Oh, I forgot to tell you too. Wondercon is doing a free event. So if you guys are interested in Wondercon, go to wondercon.com, sign up for that. I mean, they're going to probably put a lot of that stuff on YouTube anyway, but sign up for that. You get first dibs on everything. You can sign up for your tickets. Annie's is free. The Annie's is one of my favorite award shows because it's all about animation. You learn so much about the programs that's being distributed out, that's coming out. You learn so much about the people behind the scenes. And I'm independent. I don't work for no studio or anything like that. I'm an independent filmmaker. When I was younger, I had wanted to do all of that stuff, but I don't like the way the animation industry treats its people right now. They still got a lot of growing to do in terms of the economics of the business, the morals and ethics of the business as well. I really don't. I've been hearing a lot of things about how things are going in terms of the animation industry, and it's not cool. That's why I like the digital age, because with this you don't have to work for a studio. You can do everything yourself. You just got to put that time in. You know what I'm saying? How I make my money is simple. I work as an exterminator. I work for Ecolab. I kill bugs and rats and everything else. That's my job. I'm proud of it too, because it keeps the world free. It keeps human civilization free of major diseases and stuff like that. Even though we're going through COVID-19 right now, it helps keep the world safe. So that's what I do to make my money. And do whatever you have to do to make your money until you make it in the film industry or whatever. Do whatever you have to do. If you have to work 3 jobs to make things happen, do so. You're gonna be tired. You gotta put in that time. But hey, that's the life. That's life, and that's what you have to do. Okay, so we finished with that. Now we're gonna move it. Boom, 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 boom. I don't believe in being a starving artist. I really don't. I believe in, and plus I'm married. I got a wife. I don't have any kids, but I have a wife, and she ain't even trying to hear me. She did for a long time when I was younger, but now, no. You gotta support yourself any way you can. I don't believe in the whole starving artist bit. I believe in we're going out here working, doing whatever you have to do to make make things happen for yourself. You have to support yourself. You're a grown person. You're a grown ass adult. What the hell are you gonna sit home and or go for companies that don't want you and hope that something happens? Nah. Go out here, do it yourself, make your own money. That's how I personally feel about it. Support yourself, my man. Everybody. Support yourselves. Don't. And this is an expensive, filmmaking is expensive. So if you want to get involved in this, you're going to have to make money. You're going to have to go out here and do whatever you have to do. All right, he's closing them. So what I'm going to do is I'm doing a close-up now, so I got to make the eyes bigger, face bigger. Yeah, man, I just don't believe in being a starving artist. That doesn't work for me, man. Not anymore. When I was younger, yeah, you could kind of do whatever you want when you don't have any kids. When you're young, you're in the 20s. But I'm going to be 47 years old. I don't have time for that. So I got a family to support. And I like shit like eating. Eating is important to me. You know what I'm saying? You try to starve for nobody. But you can still do that. You can still do your work, support your, be an artist and stuff like that. You just got to make a good living, man. However you can. You got to work 3 jobs, or get one good job. You know, get one good job, and so you can support your art. You know. Let's see here where we are right here. Yeah, I gotta bring that nose. That nose gotta get bigger. And I'm still learning this. I'm a constant student of animation, so it's not like the studios even want me right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm still learning this art form as I make my first movie. So when you're learning, you got to do everything yourself. You can't expect anything to happen right away. It takes time. But hey, what do I care? Time I got. You know what I'm saying? Time I have. You know what? Let me close his eyes right here, because his eyes need to be closed, yo. This is some serious stuff. Beautiful. Yeah, yep, that'll do it. I also gotta do him and continue the sweat stuff that he's going through, because he's sweating a lot. That drugs is kicking his ass, so I gotta really put that in there too. I'm a big Ralph Bakshi fan. I got the inspiration from Dunkin Skids from watching things like Fritz the Cat, which was created by Robert Crumb in the late 60s, early 70s. And Ralph Bakshi made a film about Fritz the Cat, and it was basically the first X-rated cartoon. You look at it now, some of the new particularly the new generation will look at it now and be like, "Oh, what's so risque about that?" In the 70s, it was very risque, but it was more than just about a furry banging the hell out of other furries like mice and other cats and dogs and all that, and poodles and shit. It was really about this dude starting a revolution. You know, there's police brutality in it. There's all kinds of stuff, sex and violence. You know, going up against the status quo, and I love stuff like that. Okay, that's where we are right there. Gotta make that eyebrow bigger. No, it's out of proportion. Yeah, out of proportion. I gotta make all this stuff bigger. All that stuff has to be bigger. All of that. That's wrong. So you got to be careful with animation. If you're gonna do this, you got to make sure that the proportions are right. You know, if the camera is doing a close-up, then you shouldn't really be seeing his hair and stuff. The eyebrows need to be a lot bigger than that. Yeah, there we go. Not that big, but you know, big enough. So right now it's gonna come down. if you guys are into, animation podcasts, mine may not be the best yet because I'm still learning, but there's other podcasts that are really well done. Terry Mation, I listen to these guys all the time. Terry Mation, this particular guy all the time, he's a stop motion animator. Terry Mation is very good. Other animation podcasts like what's the name of the other podcast I'm trying to think of? Mine's on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember it. But Terry Mation is actually good. Let me look it up on my phone real quick. I listen to these guys on audio and YouTube. Some of them are not on YouTube. Some of them are on other things. Hold on a second. Yeah, Keyframe is a good one. Animation Addicts podcast. That kind of stuff is great. You get to really learn about the art form. And some of them are in the business. They're in the business of commercial animation. So if you're into that kind of thing, that's the podcast you want to listen to. Because I'm not faulting anybody who wants to do that. Just ain't for me. Okay. You got the Bancroft Brothers. Love those guys. The Bancroft Brothers used to be Disney animators. I think now they're freelance, but they used to be Disney. That's a good one. Right now, I think one of them is trying to start their own. He's trying to start his own studio, I believe. So. Bigger. I'm also going to be doing movie reviews. I'm going to be doing a review on Invincible. It'll probably come out either Friday, because I work at night, so it'll probably come out either Friday or Saturday. I'm also doing a review on the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is one of my favorite shows right now. It reminds me of old buddy cop movies like Bad Boy and Lethal Weapon and stuff. So I'm really into that. So I'll do a podcast on both of those, and I'll be putting those videos out either Saturday or Sunday. So if you want to check those out, just go to my YouTube channel and check it out. So where are we right now? Okay. Good. Let me start putting some sweat on this because he's sweating, man. This dude is sweating. This dude is sweating, man. Sweats too damn much. What are you sweating for, bro? What are you sweating for, son? That up. Perfect. he's sweating right now, man. That stuff is messing with him for real. Okay, let me finish with this one. Make the mouth a little bit bigger. Mouth's gotta be bigger. Ah, that's perfect. All right. Okay, so now we're gonna move it to the next one. All right. 24 frames again. Now I'm gonna make a big circle. Put that on here. Perfect. There we go. Make those eyebrows. Put those. I like drawing this angle. I like drawing at this angle because his head is constantly moving as he's running. You know. I want him to be in manic mode. Put that nose. Make that sure that nose is right. While I bring that nose down a little bit. Nose down. Make his eyes worrisome. Hey, my cousin has done the theme song for this. So as I get close to completing this thing, and I do tend to complete it, it will get done. I'll post it for you so you guys can hear how it sounds. It's really cool. It's like a, you know, old school rap. But it tells you everything that you want to know about the character if you listen to it carefully. Okay, put those eyebrows in. Beautiful, man. That'll work. See how that look. Yep. That'll definitely work. Like I said, I want him to be I want Duncan to be constantly moving. So you gotta constantly be moving, Duncan. Okay, perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for sticking around, checking out my podcast. I'll be streaming again tomorrow.